Do they understand your why? I bet you're thinking, what on earth is he talking about? Anyway, episode 18, Marketing for Owners, the podcast, where hey, John here. Do they understand your why? Now, let me explain myself. Quite often, you ask people to do things, or you expect people to do things. However, when you've explained how or why you want it doing, are you getting what I call buy-in? Now, buy-in from staff, it could be from management above you, it could be from anyone, it could be from customers. Unless you've explained the real root reason, the why, then you're not going to get the full benefit of what your people can do for you. So I'll explain a story. A few years ago, when I first started on the Emyth Mastery Program, I flew across to San Francisco for a weekend retreat. Trust me, 11 hours for 2 days, flew back. Bit tiring. And of course, I went in San Francisco. The first time I'd been there anyway, and the only time it's freezing cold. What is it? It's California. It hadn't been that cold for years. Anyway, another story. But we talked about this trucking company, and the guy was trying to get to the bottom of a problem. What it was, his trucks, whenever they came back at the end of the day, were filthy, absolutely filthy. He could not get his trucking staff, his drivers, to keep them clean. He didn't understand, because these guys were driving the same truck every single day, and he thought they would take the care, something like you'd possibly take the care with your own car, or if it was your own. And he would have done the same if he was driving one, and he'd done it from the start. But he could not understand how every time he asked why they were messy, it just couldn't get it done. So he looked at it, he talked with us, he came up with a solution, and his first solution was a checklist. So at the end of the day, of course, the trucker's got this checklist, and he's tick, tick, tick. Is it clean? Is it this? Is it this? Whatever. And that did not work. It didn't work. Didn't really make any difference. Of course, for the first few days it was okay, but then not so good. So he sat down with his truckers, and he explained. And of course, these are big burly guys. This is actually a true story, by the way. Big burly guys, and he explained. He got sort of slightly upset about it, about how frustrated. And somebody asked him what was the big deal, and he then explained that he had an entire strategy for the company. He had a vision. He had a strategic objective, as Emyth calls it, and he had it written down. He wanted the company to grow to be in a certain position in its local market, and he wanted the customers to think of it as a clean, in a notoriously dirty sort of trade. Dirty as in not clean, I might add, before you're wondering. And he wanted to stand out, and he wanted to have cleanliness as one of the things, because once that would happen, they would get more customers, there would be more profits. He wanted to then install a profit share for the staff. And there's a whole thing, and it was a forward program of about 5 years and a whole plan, but he couldn't get it started. Once he started talking about that, the drivers started asking about this strategic objective. What was it? What did it mean? Why? And so he went and dug it out and read it to them. Now, for anyone who's done the Emyth, of course, you're supposed to involve your staff, and he hadn't. And that's a lot of people don't. So he hadn't explained. They just thought, oh, he's fussing. What an old woman. He just wants a clean thing. What does he want us to have? Dusters and clean it every day? But once he explained the full why, then he got the buy-in. That's what I want you to do. Are you explaining the why? Think it back to the root cause, all the way back, and apply this to any situation you can. It's a Wednesday. Today's friendly follow is for a gentleman called Dave Kerpen. Kerpen is spelled Kerpen. As usual, his handle will be in the show notes on the website under the podcast section. podcast/18. So, Dave Kirpin, he wrote the book Likeable Media. And he has, or Likeable Social Media, sorry. He has another handle for his business called @Likeable Media, and he has a company that's built on it. So you're getting it from the horse's mouth. He's actually built his company doing this, and he advises large companies on how to do it. But again, this is not just to make friends with Dave. This is to see how he works Twitter, how he works social media, how he works it well, how he builds a following, and how the people listen and look out for what he's got to say, how he gets added to lists, how he does it for his company, how he gives out information, how he forms his tweets, how he sometimes recycles them in a nice way. Please go look at Dave Kirpin. And @Likeable Media. Look at both, see what he does. There's a great balance between family and the real person and business. I like it. Anyway, today's episode is sponsored by the people at New Rainmaker. You can find them at bit.ly/MFO-rain. Again, all the notes on the page as I explained. I'll see you tomorrow.